If you're like me, you want to change a lot of things in your life, and of course, you want it to happen all at once. Whether it is making a lot more money, changing your body to get your dream body, finding the love of your life, finding your dream job, maybe it's moving out of this state. But for some reason, every single time you try to change your life, it just like doesn't work out that way. Now, the thing is, I used to spend hours, and I'm talking about all day, reading books, looking at YouTube videos to figure out like the secret sauce and the secret formula of how to change my life really, really fast, because I was just so impatient and I was at a place in my life where I could no longer take my current situation. Now, the thing was, I learned a lot from these books that I read and the YouTube videos that I watched, but none of them really told me how to change my life based on how I was currently feeling at that moment. And I can tell you, I wasn't feeling secure in myself. Like, I was scared, I was lost, I was full of fear and doubt and insecurities, and most importantly, I felt so defeated because I had tried so hard in my life, but things just weren't working my way. And of course, if you feel like things just aren't working your way and you're feeling all these feelings, it's so much harder to change your life and actually take action and have the faith that it's gonna change, because you've been going through failure after failure after failure. But let me tell you, when I implemented this new method, I changed my life in under a year, and I went from this to this, this to this, and of course, this to this. Now, when I was in the midst of really feeling like everything that I was doing was just not working, I started to think about, what if I truly just started over in my life with a brand new plate? Like, there were no past traumas, experiences, mistakes, failures that would come up every single time I tried to change my life. So I started to do something that I now call new eyes. Now, this method of new eyes is basically looking at your life, every area in your life, as if you're looking at it for the first time. Now, usually when you have a desire for the first time, you get so amped up and you're so excited to get that thing because you haven't ever experienced it in your life and you don't have any past traumas or mistakes or doubts or insecurities that get into the way of you actually receiving that specific desire. Now, when you look at everything with a brand new set of eyes, you are not bringing along everything from the past that may have popped up when you're trying to actually change your life. So my current reality back then, when I was broke, living at my dad's house, going through a heartbreak, no longer mattered, because every single morning when I woke up, I was not looking at those things because they weren't reality anymore. I was looking at everything with a brand new set of eyes. So I had all the opportunity to start a business. I had the opportunity to move out and go to a different city. I had the opportunity to potentially meet someone new that I could spend the rest of my life with. So to be honest, I did basically just reject everything that was happening in my reality because I knew I had the power to create a whole different life if I start to look at things as if I was looking at it for the first time. Now, the fun part about this was I got to choose how I was looking at my life, and more importantly, how I was looking at myself. Because back then, with my old eyes, I was not looking at myself as somebody who was actually able to change her life. I was looking at myself as someone who was insecure, sad, depressed, indecisive, broke, poor, unworthy, and I started to look at myself as a badass female who always gets what she wants because that is just who she is. So when I made the decision to look at everything with a brand new pair of eyes every single morning when I woke up, I chose to look at myself as that female that gets everything that she wants. And since I now had that new identity, I was not afraid to start a new business. I was not afraid to look at apartments in a brand new city because I had no prior experience that would get into the way of me actually getting that thing. So let's say, for an example, right now you want to improve your financial situation. Like, you either don't want to work a job right now, you want to make your own money, start a business, whatever. But you have the thoughts of, oh, what if it doesn't work out? Or maybe you've tried it before and you failed. Or maybe you're like, oh, I want to create content online, but I don't have the perfect camera to start. Or you have the thought of, what if I go all in on social media, but people just don't take me seriously? Now you do realize all of the thoughts and all of the roadblocks that come up in your head when you're trying to do something new is because of past and prior experiences. But once again, we are not looking at your new desire with your old eyes. We are looking at them with new eyes. So since we are, every desire is always going to work out for you. So now that you know exactly what like my new eyes method is, let's actually break down how you can actually make this work for you like really, really well. Now, the first thing that you want to do is decide and commit that you are going to use new eyes in every single situation in your life. And when I say I use new eyes in every single scenario, I really did. To a point where, first of all, I still use new eyes till this day, but when I get into like fights or arguments with my boyfriend, Andy, of course I'll get into the mood of like, oh, he never takes me seriously, or he doesn't give me attention, he's always on his phone working, blah, 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 and I will think of all of the bad things about him. But when I put on my brand new eyes, I look at him as if I was looking at him for the first time. So of course, all I see is all the beautiful aspects about him and how amazing he really is. So in that moment of like frustration and doubt and anxiety and annoyance when I'm fighting with Andy, I will literally put on my new eyes and the conversation will just literally go my way because I'm no longer being defensive of what I really want. So deciding to use this method when you're going through something really challenging can be like really, really tough in the beginning because you're so accustomed to reacting in a poor way. But over time, this will literally become a habit in every single situation that you come across. You're just going to be looking at it from the perspective that you want to play out. Because once again, committing and focusing that you will look at everything with brand new eyes will just allow you to get your dream life a lot faster because once again, you are not offering any resistance from your past to get to what you actually want. Now, another thing you want to do is not having any expectation of when you're actually going to get your desire. The thing about new eyes is you're technically doing it for the first time. So in your old life or with your old eyes, if you did do something in a certain time frame, let's say you made X amount of money in like 30 days, it does not make sense for you to put a time frame on your new goals and desires because technically you have never done it before. And at the end of the day, you can actually get your desire a lot faster than the deadline that you put it in because once again, you don't know how quickly you can get that thing because you're doing it for the first time. Now, the perfect example I want to share for this is in January of 2020, I was going through a heartbreak and it wasn't even fresh. Like I was going through this heartbreak for quite a few months, but I was also moving to a new city at the end of January because once again, I was looking at everything with brand new eyes and I was changing a lot of things in my life. Now, of course, since I was going through a heartbreak, I was still not like over my ex and I was still really in my feelings. However, I did want to eventually find someone that I could settle down with that I really, really loved. But I also just knew I couldn't really force it or put a timeline to it. And I honestly did not even have the intention of finding someone new right away when I moved to this new city. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna move here. And then maybe in like a year or two, I'll find someone that I really love. But of course, the first person that I met when I moved to Florida was my realtor, who is now my 4-year boyfriend, Andy, and we're also planning to get married soon. Of course, I need to get my ring first. But of course, none of this would have happened if I placed the expectation of finding a new guy within the first month or 3 months or even 6 months of me moving to a new city, or if I was looking at the situation with my old eyes. Because if I did look at that situation from old eyes, I would just think Andy and every other guy who was trying to get with me was just a scumbag because that's what I experienced in my prior relationship. And I honestly probably would have never even given Andy a chance. So you're basically just setting the intention once again, knowing that the desire that you want, you're going to be getting it because you're doing it for the first time. And of course, there's no resistance to it. So all you're really doing is just detaching from the outcome. Now, the last thing that I did to really, really make this work for me was understanding that I can have everything all at once, which also means a lot can change all at once. Now, I used to think I only had to focus on one thing like really, really hard in order for it to manifest. But then I started to think about I am doing things every single day in my life of the things I really want to change. Like getting the perfect body, I was already working out and eating every single day. So for me, I didn't really need to focus so hard on figuring out how to lose weight and get in the perfect physique, because since I was looking at my body and looking at what I was eating and working out with new eyes, I just knew what I was doing would work. So like, why couldn't I get it now instead of waiting for a few months to like start a new diet in order to get my new body? And even like making my own money every single day already, I was a content creator building my brand on social media. So as I was building my brand, what if someone just randomly came across my profile and wanted to hire me? And guess what? That's actually what started to happen. But if I was like, oh, I can't manifest making money while also moving to a new city and working out on my body, I would have waited to put out even more content, really be myself, and even open up the potential and the possibility to get paid because I was putting that restriction on myself. Because at the end of the day, when you look at everything with new eyes, you are experiencing new things in every single moment. So it would just make sense for you to receive new outcomes as you're just working on your day-to-day life. So when I say I literally did a 360 and I changed a lot of things in my life in under a year, I really did. Because I ended up building a multi-six-figure business in that year, finding the love of my life, living in a luxury apartment in Florida, when earlier that year I was heartbroken, wondering where my next paycheck was gonna come from, and of course, living at my dad's house. So just know, this change in my life that happened back in 2020 was not fluke and was not coincidence. I really had the belief that if I put on a brand new pair of eyes every single morning when I woke up, I had the possibility to actually control what I want to happen in my life. And a brand new pair of eyes can change your life really, really fast if you actually allow it to. So if you guys love this video, make sure to hit like, comment below your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe, because my channel is all about helping you create the most unforgettable life by being your own boss and making your own money so you can actually live life, because that is what life is about. And I have so many more videos coming out just like this one, so I will see you guys in my next one, and until then, make sure that you stay unforgettable.